Hi guys, George here. This week we were working on a seat wall, so I wanted to show you a couple ways to split the stone or cut it, which would also apply to caps or retaining walls. On a seat wall such as this one, we're using a tumbled pattern, so it kind of hides the gaps a little bit better. Show you how we fix those up, as well as how we're cutting these stones to make these work. So instead of using our quickie saw, which we're using that to clean up the joints to get them a little bit tighter as needed, we use a stone splitter. It's got a little hydraulic piston in here, and we just slide the block under there. This is a scrap piece. Grab that handle, pull it down, and it just splits that piece. Very clean cut, nice cut. So on this wall, we really are not using the saw. We've fired it up maybe 2 or 3 times just to take a few knobs out of it. As you can see here, I've got this block set up. We are trying to get everything to fit in here seamlessly. So this is kind of how we do the final cut. Use a scrap piece to elevate your block, make sure it's lined up on the seam, and then we just drag our pencil along the inside of that, flip it over, we'll split it, and then drop this block right down in the hole. The other way we can do this is with the use of our levels. So if we need to split a block to have a gap like that, instead of using a tape and trying to measure everything, we just take our level, line that up with the seam, and then we'll draw a line down here where the mark is, and that will be perfectly square to the cut that we need to match. So we will lose this piece here, and that's how we've been doing all of these cuts today. So you can see these splits are all almost a perfect width of a ruler or some variation of that. When you are splitting these blocks as well, or any block for that matter, don't try and line up the splitter or the saw right here on the points to make your cut, because if you do, the vibration of that blade will cause that to chip off and you'll have to fix it with a hammer or a grinder. So come back a few inches and make your cut, because things will be more solid. If you're using the splitter, as you can see here, you really need to make sure you come inside that seam a little bit, because if you don't, it will just shatter and you'll have to take your hammer and really break that up. So the last step that we do whenever we use these blocks and cut them, especially on a tumbled pattern, is we need to weather the corners. So you can see here on this stone where we've made a cut, it's very sharp. It does not match the rest of these tumbled pieces. So the best way to do that is you just take your hammer in here and knock those corners off, and that hides your cut. All of these seat walls will be glued because there's going to be a lot of motion on the top of those. We'll cut another cap to put on there. You can either use a limestone or the Versa cap that matches this product, and go from there. But like I said, we're using the splitter so that we were less noise, less fatigue on the guys, less dust. It's a lot faster in the end as well. Each cut's taken about 30 seconds instead of 2 or 3 minutes. So just some quick pointers on retaining walls and their caps. Probably the worst part of the entire project is trying to get the caps on there. Seat walls are really no different. So if you guys have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you next week.